everyone, it's Karen from the Geordie Grandma. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd talk about some really good books, TV series and films that I love that you can maybe binge watch in the autumn. So, you know, though, for those cozy nights where you just want to get on the settee and read a book or watch a good series or watch a good film, this is what I've got for you today. I did choose things that they were like sequels. So there's books that are there's more than two of, TV series where there's more than one series, and films where they're trilogies, or more than trilogies. So I'm going to start with books. So if you don't like books, you may want to fast forward, but you never know, there might be something that interests you. None of these are kind of new things. The books may be new to you. You may have heard of some of the films and TV series, but you never know. I always like to rewatch things, and maybe you've forgotten about it and you think, oh, I'm going to binge watch that. So we'll start with the books. So the first series of books I've got for you are the Alison Weir 6 Tudor Queens. Now, I absolutely love these books. If you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know one of my favourite historical characters is Henry VIII. I love reading about him. I love watching TV things about him. And when Alison Weir brought these 6 books out, each one is about a different one of his wives, and they're told from the wife's perspective. Now, Alison Weir is a historian, so a lot of it will be fact, but a lot of it is fiction, because obviously, you know, it's a fiction book, so it had to be embellished. So I'm not really sure what's true and what's not, but in the back of the book, she does kind of give you a synopsis of, you know, things that she does think are fact, things that were maybe rumours, so that would give you a good idea. So it's got Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr. And because they're all told from the wife's perspective, it's not really something you've heard before. So I did find these quite interesting. I knew quite a lot about Catherine of Aragon and I knew quite a lot about Anne Boleyn, but I didn't really know much about the other wives. So it was quite interesting finding out about them. And I think one of my favourite ones was Anne of Cleves, because I think she was the one I knew least about. She was the wife that he didn't like the look of and divorced. And I thought the story that Alison Weir told around that was really interesting. So I highly recommend the Alison Weir 6 Tudor Queen books. And actually, I'll just put those to one side. I've got her new book, Henry VIII, The Heart and the Crown, to read next. It's a really thick book, and I can't wait to get into that, to see her perspective on Henry VIII. So that should be fun. Maybe not fun, but you know what I mean. So the second lot of books I've got, I think there's 4 of these out. I've only got 3 of them at the moment, and I've only read 2, but I'm looking forward to reading the other ones. And this is Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. Now, these are all about, it's a group of people, they're in their 70s, 80s maybe. They live in it's not a care home, but it's like a residential care village maybe. I don't know quite how to describe it. They're not being nursed, but they are elderly and they live in this residential community, let's say. And so something happens and somebody gets murdered, and there's 4 of the people decide to band together and form the Thursday Murder Club and try and solve the murders. And each book has a different murder in it. They're funny, they're sad, they're easy to read. The characters are really good. You really, get to know them and get invested in the characters. And I think the third one may be a little bit sad. I haven't read it yet. But I really did enjoy the first 2. So it was the Thursday Murder Club, The Man Who Died Twice, And the one that I've got that I haven't read yet is The Bullet That Missed. And I know there is a fourth one out, so if I can remember what that is, I'll put it on the screen here. But they all follow the same group of people and obviously build on the characters through that. So they're really good to read for autumn, you know, get cosy on the settee and get through those. The next set of books for you, I've got, there is quite a few of these out there, maybe about 8 or 9. And this is Sophie Hannah, and this is her detective series, Simon and Charlie. Can't remember the surnames. They're both detectives, and Charlie, she is the lead detective, and each book investigates a different. They're not all murders. The first one, actually, Little Face. It says her husband David was supposed to be looking after their 2-week-old daughter, but when Alice walks into the nursery, her terrifying ordeal begins. For Alice insists the baby in the cot is a stranger she's never seen before. Now, this was her first one, and it really gripped me, and it made us want to go out and buy all of Sophie Hannah's books. Really, really enjoyed it. But as well as it being a really good mystery, thriller kind of book, it also follows the relationship between Simon and Charlie as they go through the books, and that's quite an interesting relationship as well. So lots of books to get stuck into there. Highly recommend Sophie Hannah. So those are the 3 sets of books. I'll go on to TV series next. And the first series, this was really difficult because there's tons of TV series I like. So I've picked 2 kind of comedies, well, 3 comedies really. There were 3 comedies that I've enjoyed the most and I thought would be really good watches during the autumn. And the first one is Dectorists. There's 3 seasons of this on Netflix, and I think there's also an extra Christmas episode on BBC iPlayer, so you may want to have a look at that. And Dectorists, if you don't know what it is a comedy series. They're only about 20 to 25 minutes per episode, and it's about 2 guys who are metal detectorists, and it is about their adventures, kind of, you know, detecting on field, see if they can dig up treasure. And they're involved in a detectorists group who get together in a clubhouse and discuss the finds of ring pulls off cartons and buttons. And it's just a really good series, and you're rooting for them to find something good. And the reason we got into this is because Warren is a metal detectorist. It's not a metal detector, that's the thing you use to detect with. You're a metal detectorist if you do it. Him and my son go out, him and Simon go out detecting, not every weekend, but they try and get out as often as possible. They haven't found anything major yet, but hopefully. But yeah, Dectorists is just a really easy, nice series to watch. Like I say, there is 3 of them, and there's a couple of Christmas episodes. And they star Mackenzie Crook, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Andy and Lance, they're called the characters. But he's been in tons of stuff, the other guy, I just can't remember his name. But again, the characters are well built. This was written by Mackenzie Crook, actually. And it was just a nice, easy series to watch, and really nice, you know, as the nights get darker, just to sit and watch that. And you never know, it might give you a new hobby. The next one is definitely a comedy, and this is one of my favourite comedies. I have mentioned it before in my videos, but this is one of my favourite comedies of all time. Really, really funny. And it's called Schitt's Creek. There's 6 seasons of it on Netflix. It's set in Canada, and it's Jonathan Levy and Dan Levy, who are father and son. And I think the daughter who plays the girl who plays their daughter in it is also Jonathan Levy's daughter, I think. Don't quote us on that. But anyway, it's about this the mother and father and the grown up son and daughter. They're really, really rich when the first episode starts, and the father's manager is done something and they've lost all of their money. They haven't got a penny to their name, but the father did buy this this town called Schitt's Creek is a joke present for his son. So they have to go and live in Schitt's Creek. I'm assuming that's a fictional town. And they live in the motel there. They go and live in these 2 rooms in the motel. And the series covers their journey from becoming these kind of self-centered, not very well-rounded, not very nice people actually, to becoming, part of the community, and caring about things and building relationships with other people. And it's just hilarious. The woman who plays Moira, the mother, she was the mother in Home Alone, and she is brilliant. Her character is brilliant. But Dan Levy, who plays the son, he's called David Rose in the series. He's probably one of my favourite characters of all time. I want to see more of him. I was so sad when the series ended. I just wanted more of it. So highly recommend Schitt's Creek. And the last series that I've got written down it's on Disney Channel. It is Only Murders in the Building, and there's 3 series of it, well maybe 2.5, because I don't think the 3rd series has just started and not all of the episodes are there at the moment. But I binge watched this. I thought this was fantastic. And it's about, when it starts, it's about 3 strangers who live in this posh apartment building I think it's in New York. And they know each other on sight, but they've never really interacted. And it is Steve Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. And this murder happens in the building, and it kind of throws these 3 characters together, and they decide to start a podcast and try and solve the murders and talk about them on the podcast each week. And it's really well written. I was very surprised. I love Steve Martin anyway, but him and Martin Short just work so well together. And it's funny. There are moments of poignancy, maybe. It's just a really good series to watch. And like I say, there will be 3 of them soon, and I'm sure they're going to make more. So this is definitely one to, get down on the settee and get the blanket on, get your nibbles and watch Only Murders in the Building. Highly recommend that. Now for the last category, we're going to talk about films, and I tried to pick things I did pick things that were more than one film. So the first one I thought would be a really good film to binge watch. There is 3 of them. 2 of them are on Now TV and 1 of them is on Netflix. And that's Ghostbusters. Now, if you're a similar age to me, you'll remember Ghostbusters from back in the 80s. I loved Ghostbusters. It was kind of, cutting edge cutting edge film when it first come out, and I really enjoyed the second one as well. So when they brought the third one out, which is on Netflix, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I knew one of them had died. I can't remember his name now. God, my memory is serious. But I knew one of them had died in real life, so I wasn't sure how they were going to work that in. But I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was really well done. Really, it still had the essence of the first two Ghostbusters, and they kind of brought the old ones in with the new, which I thought was really well done. And the main character in the new one, again, can't remember his name, but it's a young lad who played Mike in Stranger Things. So yeah, I thought they did a really good job on the new Ghostbusters film, because I know they did make another Ghostbusters film with all women, and for me that just didn't work. So I don't include that in the, if you're going to watch a Ghostbusters fest, I don't include that one because I didn't even get all the way through it. I thought it was just complete rubbish. But anyway, the three Ghostbusters films definitely worth a binge watch this autumn. The next ones are Die Hard. Who doesn't love a Die Hard film? And I know for a lot of people, the first Die Hard film is their Christmas film to go to, and I have to say it's probably ours as well. But I think there's 5 Die Hard films. I don't think I've seen the fifth one. The first 3 are the better ones for me, and definitely the first one. But if you've never seen them before, Where have you been? It's the first one starts where Bruce Willis plays John McClane, and he goes to visit his estranged wife in the Nagatomi building in, I think it's LA. And while he's there, what do you call them, terrorists kind of descend and take over and take them all hostage, and Bruce Willis hides and he gets them all out. And the second film's a little bit like that, and the third where, Bruce Willis saves the day. But they're just enjoyable films, Bruce Willis at his best, lots of action. If you're not into kind of shooting films and action films, then it might not be your thing. But if you haven't seen them for a while, binge watch the Die Hard films. Like I say, there's 5 of them. I don't think I've seen the 5th one, so I may have to binge watch them again and watch the 5th one as well. And the last ones I've got for you are the Avengers films. Now, I don't know if I've said before, probably have. I am a huge, huge superhero fan. Haven't always been. It's probably only about in the last maybe 7 years, 8 years, I've really enjoyed them. And I started watching, during lockdown, we watched all of the Marvel films, right from the first Iron Man film right through to the end. I think there's about 16 films. We watched them all during lockdown, the first lockdown. But the Avengers ones are definitely my favourites because it includes them all. Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Natasha, who I can't remember what her... Black Widow, I want to say, Hawkeye, Loki. Loki's my favourite character, I have to say. So the Avengers films, if you like superhero films, and if you've never seen them before, you're in for a treat. And if you have seen them before, it's time you binge watch them again. In September is, a great month to start doing that. Like I say, there's 5 of them, and they are quite long, 2.5 to 3 hours long, so it might take you a while to get through them. But they're just, superheroes, save the world kind of thing. What's not to like? I just really, really enjoy the Avengers films. Probably the first one and the last one are my favourites, because the first one introduces them, and the last one brings all of the Marvel kind of multiverse, if that's what you call it, into that film, and I just really enjoyed it. So that was all of my books, films and TV series for you to binge watch or binge read this autumn. Have you seen any of them? Do you agree with me that they're really good? If you've got some books, TV, films or series you think I might enjoy, leave them in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas. And at the moment, TV series I'm really struggling with. I've watched some really rubbish ones lately. What was the one I watched? I watched one recently. What was it called? It was about a guy who buys a house in America, moves in with his family, and strange things start to happen, and his neighbours are weird. And what was it called? I'll put it on the screen if I remember. And I really enjoyed that series. I think there was about 6 episodes. And it got to the end and I'm thinking, what? What is this rubbish? Why? And I don't know whether there's going to be a second series, but that annoyed us. And there's a few series recently that have done that. So if you know of any really good series that you think I might like to watch, please leave them in the comments below. So that's all I've got for you today. I'll be back on Sunday with the Sunday Sunshine Show in collaboration with the Transatlantic Housewives of YouTube, who are myself, Busy Bee Marie, at Maria Crocker, and at Tina's Talk Time. And on Sunday, we are going to be talking about things on our bucket list. So that's something for you to look forward to. So I'll see you on Sunday. So I hope you found that interesting. I'll see you soon. So bye for now.